some of us was misguided. You shouldn't believe what you hear in the everything you hear in the media that we know, and it was awful, really. You know, where are we going now? Where are we going? But in not voting, you have voted. Yeah, you might think that's strange. In not voting, you have voted. And another thing is that, as I said to you before in the past times when I'm talking about voting, voting is not just about who you want in, which is what a lot of people seem to think it is. Voting is also about who you want to keep out. Yeah? And if you look at things from that perspective, it might spur you on to vote next time. Alright? We're going through some difficult times, as you know. They've changed the benefit system. A lot of people are worse off now in this new benefit system. God knows what they've got planned up their sleeve for the next 5 years in terms of benefits. God knows what they've got up their sleeve for the National Health Service, for education. Look what they're doing. They're ramming down gay and lesbian things down our throats for our children from nursery age. This government from nursery age. And you're all happy they're not to vote because you think it's all about you. When it's not about just you, it's about your children's children. It's about the elders who can't do for themselves at the moment. And all they've got is a voice to vote. A lot of elders do vote, you know. When I speak to quite a few elders, I'm amazed at the amount of people that says to me, yes, I voted. Yes, I put mine in via post. Yes, I went down to the voting thing. And when I talk to the people my age group, nah, that's not for we. That's not for we. So what's going on, folks? Please enlighten me, because I'd like to know where this vision is going. I'd like to know what's happening. If you've got a comment to make about this, 07944 431 366. 07944 431 366. I would really like to hear your views. Okay, in terms of if you didn't vote, you have voted by not voting, if that makes any sense to you, and it should make sense to you. Okay, some say that we voted for, and this is what some say, one who is racist, a liar and a cheat. They say we have voted for someone who defends the bankers who are stealing money from the people. We have voted for one who only is concerned about the elite, the 1% of the population. We have voted for one who raises entrepreneurship without thinking about the poor and the less fortunate. We've also voted for one who has said things like, and you might have seen the WhatsApp, I got this from the opinion polls that came round, that children of single mothers are ill-raised, ignorant, aggressive and illegitimate. He's also recorded to have been saying, all the young people I know have an almost Nigerian interest in money. You can make of what you will of that. He also says, you must accept that the problem is Islam. Islam is the problem. This same person has said, the best way to deal with a woman colleague given advice is to just pat her on her bottom and send her on her way. Now, this is the character of the person that you have voted for. Yeah? This is the person who you have allowed to be in power. In not voting, you have voted for the care of the elderly to go into decline. You have also, in not voting for increased debt for our students. You have also voted for keeping homelessness rising. You have also voted for widening the gap between the rich and the poor. Now, there's also many other areas which you have voted for by not voting. And it's funny because I think 2-3 years ago, no, it wasn't even 2-3 years ago. It was, if it wasn't last year, March, it was the year before, there was a vote and I had two people come in. One was Margaret Greer and the other one was Andrew Reid. Yeah, they came in. Around that time, we put on a discussion called Who is Representing You? And we showed the film Why Black People Don't Vote. And I think that what we need to do in the next 4 years before the next election is have workshops on politics, because a lot of you think politics is just about voting in who's going to run the country, but it's a lot more than that. It's a lot deeper than that. Because what you've got to think about is not you and you and you alone. You've got to think about the children and the children's children. The young people are waiting for us to get up and organise ourselves. We need to get up and organise ourselves. The elders are not able to do it anymore. They must be so disappointed with us, with this lack of, this carelessness attitude that we have as people. You know? And I guess some of you didn't vote because you thought it might be better to get on your knees and just pray about it. Yeah? Things don't work like that. Yes, we can pray, but you've got to have action too. You have to have action too. So a couple of questions that I'd just like to poise out to you all out there. How do we see ourselves going forward under this government? You know, we've had them for so long. They've done so much to us, and nothing's going to get better. I don't think it's going to get better. I was surprised to hear the amount of African people who tell me that they vote Conservative. Wait, what are you reading? Are you just listening to the news? Are you not walking on the street to see what's going on? Are you not talking to young people? Are you not talking to the homeless? Are you not talking to those in education? Are you not? Are you not? Anyway, so that's one question. What is it that we are going to do and do differently and fast? Okay, we don't want to vote. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What strategies are we going to put in place, if any? Do we know what to do? Our young people, as I said before, are waiting for us for leadership and direction. Our elders, as I said before, are at a loss because they know that we're not going to help them in our current state that we're in. Yes, we are able-bodied, and we're sitting down saying that this government is not for us, which we do know. So what are we going to do? Yet we're doing nothing but having meetings to prepare us for meetings to discuss in a meeting that ends up in an argument. Come on, people, what are we doing? What legacies are we putting down? And I'm not talking about the one or two people who have made it. I'm not talking about the one or two people who have done well. I'm talking about us on a mass, across the country. We complain that we have no resources. We complain that the few resources we have got, are not maintained. We complain that the few resources we have got have been taken away from us. But what we don't realise, and this is what we need to realise, that England, like every other country, is a business. It is a business. It's not just somewhere to live. It is a business. It's all about making money. Now, if you get that right, that England is a business, the questions that I would like you to think about is, as African people here in England, are we a liability or are we an asset to England? Are we a liability or are we an asset? We've seen how they treated our elders with the Windrush scandal. We've seen that. We've seen how they've treated our people in the National Health Service, in the judicial system, in the health service. We've seen all that. But yet we're happy to say it's got nothing to do with me, I'm not voting. What do we as African people bring to the economy apart from just being consumers? What do we bring to the economy? These are all questions that came flooding through my head, and I thought I must share them with us. And I have to say with us because I fall down at some of these questions myself. You know, don't think because I'm posing these questions to you that I'm putting myself on a pedestal, because no, I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty as some of these things myself. Another question. If you was running the country, would you give us any resources? Huh? Would you? And why would you? Because like I said before, if we see England as a business, what money are we generating? I mean, our of us can't even sustain ourselves, let alone, you know, help anybody else. So what are we a liability? Are we an asset to England? And we need to start thinking about these things. And I will be coming back to this throughout the year, because I really do think we need to get more of our young people into politics. Like I said, most of the time when the councillors come to you and say there's going to be changes and we'd like to hear your views, they have already decided, because they've had meetings going on behind closed doors. We need to get our young people, and I say our young people because they'll be able to grasp it better. We need to get them behind those closed doors and around those tables where the decisions are being made. We really do. Because the future does not look bright. It doesn't look bright. We can fool ourselves talking about, some of us, oh well, England is not for us, I'm going to Africa. Going to Africa and doing what? Who is colonizing Africa? Yes, we can go there and get the sun, and so we can think straight. But at the end of the day, who is in control of the African countries? We see how they got rid of our one of our great the ambassador for Africa the other day, who was telling African countries what they need to be doing. Yes, we saw that. We know about that. So, and we've seen how many of the resources in Africa, in the African countries, is being bought off by the Chinese and so many other people. Yeah, for the high loans that they're taking out and can't repay. So their natural resources are being taken. Their infrastructure is being taken. So we can sit here in England and not vote. This week, Monday, somebody sent me a, sorry if I'm going on so much, but we just have to get it out. We just have to talk about it, right? This week, Monday, somebody sent me a WhatsApp with the meme. Is it a meme or something like that? And what they've got on it is they've got a picture of Margaret Thatcher. It says 1983, British gas is not for sale. They've got 1992, that's 1992, I've forgotten his name. Is it Major? John Major. British Rail is not for sale. Now remember, all these things that have been sold. Remember? Yeah? Then we had 2010. We had David Cameron. The Royal Mail is not for sale. 2019, we had Boris Johnson saying the National Health Service is not for sale. So we know where this is going. When the person sent this to me, I sat there and I looked at it, and I came out with something. I thought, should I share it? And I said, yes, I'll respond to this. And I put, you know, when you put all in M's, I put, I suppose we're waiting to hear this before we decide to act. And what I put, what the this was, black people are not for sale again. You know, we need to think about what we're doing. We need to think about getting organized. Because I could be wrong, but I don't know if Africa has any defense that can stop Britain and America. Their defense, I don't know. I haven't heard of anything. So how can Africa stop Britain and America from recolonizing them? Yeah? But yet we know that the British system is not for us, and we're going over to Africa. To do what? I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying think about it. Think about where this is taking us. Think how we'll get out. We're going to get out of this mess without organising ourselves. We have to organise. We have to organise and strategise. Also, I was writing down, I put, who is going to speak for us? We have no one in Parliament to bring us up from the economic deprivation that we're in. We've got one or two people, but one or two people cannot persuade a whole group of 30, 40 people. They're in the minority. And they say the people with the loudest voice gets the biggest piece of the pie. We're not going to get the biggest piece of the pie because, what? We ain't interested in politics because it's not for us. There is a gap between our elders and our young people. We are that gap. And I'm sure you've all heard the saying that says, mind the gap. We're going into a new year where we're 11 days, is it 11 days left of 2019? 11 days away from a new year, a so-called new year. 11 days away from a new decade. What will be different? Do you know what will be different as we're going into 2020? Those are some of the things that came up, stood out for me when I was thinking about today's show, when I was thinking about the voting system and how the vote went. You know, we don't want to be part of this system, but yet when we're in pain, we go to this system's doctor. We don't want to be part of this system, but we use the resources from this system. We don't want to be part of this system, but we collect their benefits. We don't want to be part, and it goes on and on and on and on. What contradiction! We need to really sit down and think about what is it we are doing. Let me play this one for you. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, Rasta. All them black people them belong to Africa. So I say we are keep the Gideon hot. Hey, oh, hey, Kalangola, upon my African Gola, Kalangola, Shamalang, Gola, Kalangola. Me burn the fire from Babylon. Nothing no chat from Babylon. As a youth corrupt, we get a youth. We do no wicked act, do no Babylon. When me walk, I trample down Babylon. Talk and ride down Babylon. You know always they are with your clans and plans. Won't come trapping the man. You no think you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No, you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. You no think you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No, you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. True religion, you bang down a Lebanon. Pick yourself and a blame Afghanistan. We do no tricks and cons, implement a plan. Then you go dig down Saddam. We see you a draw nearer and nearer. But the Isle mama got nah go share ya. Oh, me nah get scared. We defend the square. Oh, Pasha Shamalam girl, you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. You no think you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No, you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. You no think you no can come take Mama Africa from me again. Them no like when we are dinner the hills. Them want we stay here fi pay them bills. When you think say you are safe, little cabbage. Them alone a count off the mills. It's an authentic reggae beat. Let me skank off the shoes off of me feet. I get to a touch to Bob Marley. And the little berry sound sweet, you know can't come take from Africa, from we again. You no think you no can come take from Africa, from we again. No, you no can come take from Africa, from we again. You no think you no can come take from Africa, from we again. So the bingy man a call Angola, call Angola. Come on Africa, Angola, call Angola, call Angola, call Angola. Papa Shashamal Angola, call Angola. Me burn the fire from Babylon, not take no chat from Babylon. Cause you corrupt the ghetto youths, we do no wicked up, do no Babylon. When me walk I trample down Babylon, talk and ride down Babylon. Do no one years they have with your clans and plans, one come trap bingy man, do no think, do no can come take from Africa, from me again. I Selassie, you know, the voices and throw on a fire.
Yes, I'm still here. Lady Leo and the Community Information Show, just sharing information, sharing food for thought with you. And I said we're going to talk about two things today. And the first one was, as I said before, thoughts about my thoughts about the election that we just had. Okay, about the election and where we see ourselves going as a people, and thinking about organising and strategizing. Whilst that record was playing, there was a big discussion going on in the studio, you know, which was quite interesting in terms of who can we find that is worthy of representing us. Now, I do know that we had an organisation called INAP. I'm not quite sure where they're at now. I do know that we've got another organisation, a steering group, organising themselves now to be in a position to represent us for the near future. I do know that there's other little cliques going, well, clique might be the wrong word, groups that are coming together because people are saying to themselves, saying to each other, we need to do something and bring us up out of this situation that we're in. So there are things going in the pipeline. When I get more information, more appropriate structure, I will share that with you here in England. That's for the people here in England, and in some respects globally as well. But right now, at this moment in time, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good. Someone said it doesn't taste good, you know. But hey, next week we'll all be celebrating, won't we? And we'll forget about all that. And we're celebrating, some of you are celebrating Christmas, some is Kwanzaa, some New Year. And it's time to get somewhat. And you know, I mean, you know, some of you will be getting paralytic. We don't need to think about what's going on until it hits us, maybe back on the 2nd of January, when everything's back to usual about how we're going to be going forward as a people. We need to see some positive structures coming up for our young people. We need to think about our children, our children's children, restore hope into a lot of them. That is why some of them are on the streets doing what they're doing, you know. They feel as though, you know, what else is there to do? We need to restore hope. We need to restore family back into them. We need to restore I can't even find the right word, but you know what I'm saying, and you know, you can feel the energy of what I'm talking about. I know you can. Yeah. This is the Community Information Show. This is Lady Leo. If you've just locked onto the show, you've just missed the first half of, well, the first section of the show, where we was talking about this government who's governing us, who's controlling us, whilst we're here in the matrix, plugged in. A lot of us don't realise we're in the matrix. A lot of us don't realise that we're in a time of war. We think because we are able to get up, go to work in our cars, on the bus, on public transport, we don't even realise the war that we're in. Yeah, we don't realise we're in a war zone, but there's many different types of wars. There's physical wars, there's wars with weapons, there's wars, spiritual warfare, there's psychological warfare. There's loads of things going on that is unleashed onto the people right as we speak, you know. And when we get to understand, like, you might talk to some brothers and sisters and think there's something wrong with them half the time, but a lot of us are clued up, and it's very difficult to talk to those who are saturated in the conditions that they're in, you know, and can't see the wood from the trees. But there's more to just life than life, if that makes any sense. You know, there's more to what's going on. There's lots of things that's happening that's not visible to us unless we see it, unless we've got the eye, unless our third eye is open. And a lot of us, our third eye is closed. A lot of you don't even realise you have a third eye. You know, and that could be because of some of the structures, the doctrination that we've had in schools. Remember, when a lot of us was growing up, most of the schools that we go to, they were like Christian faith schools. Remember, we used to have assemblies at the beginning of school. We used to have assemblies where we sing songs and stuff. Those kind of, it was all part of the doctrination, you know. And a lot of us are in church, and again, more indoctrination. And because we haven't got the right spiritual guidance, okay, a lot of us are not following the right spiritual guidance. When we hear other things, it becomes disturbing to us, and we shun away. We don't want to hear it, you know, because that means that we have to come out of our comfort zone, and not many people are able or want to or are ready to come out of their comfort zone, you know, in order to take on what is being said, take on what they're hearing. A lot of people cannot analyze the information that they hear, and I can tell that because I do talk to a lot of people, many walks of life, many different people from different backgrounds and what they're doing. And when I am in these discussions, sometimes I just have to, you know, inside just shake my head silently, because it is disheartening to know in 2019, a lot of us don't know what's going on. We just haven't got a clue what's going on with us, for us, and about us, you know. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you now about a celebration of our culture, of our African culture. And what I'm going to talk to you about is Kwanzaa. Okay, like I said before, some of you might have been misguided about what it is, why it's happened, and why we're celebrating it. A lot of you, like myself, many years ago, I used to think to myself that Kwanzaa was a black Christmas. But as time goes on, you get to learn more. And I know that there's quite a lot of people, quite a lot of organisations this year putting on Kwanzaa events. Some don't have a clue what they're putting on, but nonetheless they want to put it on and celebrate, which is good, because also when you put something on and you try it and you get feedback, you get to learn more about what you're doing. So it is good that a lot of organisations are doing it this year, but there's some things that you really do need to have in place in order to do Kwanzaa properly. Yes, sorry about that. And I'm just hoping that most of the Kwanzaa celebrations that are going to be taking place throughout this season are joyous encouraging, and they get more people on board in order to celebrate Kwanzaa. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I just thought I'll go over to a tune. There's quite a lot of different songs that celebrate Kwanzaa, and I'm going to play one for you right now. This one is one by our dear own Teddy Pendergrass, who's also got a track that he's done for Kwanzaa, which I'm going to play for you so you can get a chance to hear it. And I'll talk to you a bit about the principles and all about Kwanzaa that you can learn. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Just let me. Yep. Hold on. It's right here. Just it's here. You know. You stop laughing. Here we go. Yes, don't worry. It's here. This is Lady Leo. So you got to take your time. You know, I'm a woman that likes to take my time. So it's coming for you, I believe. Well, it's just, you know, somebody said I might have to sing it because I'm just watching this thing go round and round and round, you know, and nothing ain't happening. Anyway, you know what? Yeah, don't leave it. I know I had something playing before, so I know it's not that. Nonetheless, what I was going to do, let me just go into what Kwanzaa's about. Yeah, just do it one time because I don't know what's going on. Okay. Kwanzaa, spelled Kwanzaa. Some say Kwanzaa, some say Kwanzaa, yes. Right. So, in its present form, it was founded by Dr. Maulana Karenga. And I remember I said in its present form. And this was in 1966. It takes place from the 26th of December to the 1st of January. So it spans over 7 days. Okay? Kwanzaa means first fruits of the harvest. So hearing that, we know it's a harvest festival. It's a key Swahili word, one of the African languages. And it is, the first fruits are symbolic of the children. So that just tells you in itself that Kwanzaa is a children's celebration. Yeah? So most of what happens at Kwanzaa needs to be geared around the children, the family. Yeah? It is based on the traditions of the first fruits, as I said before, that takes place throughout Africa at different times of the year, especially at the end of harvest. It honours African heritage and is an African family occasion where we come together to recommit, reassess, reward, recommit, rejoice and celebrate our successes and reaffirm our practice of Ngusa Saba. So what is Ngusa Saba? Ngusa Saba is the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. You may want, well, what are those principles? I'm going to go through each of the principles so that you'll have an understanding of what the 7 principles are. Right? The first one is Umoja, and that means unity. And that's celebrated on the 26th of December. Every year it's the same dates, yeah? So that means to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation and race. Alright? So once again, the first day is Umoja, which means unity, and it's to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation and race. The second day is Kujikukulia, which means self-determination, and that's celebrated on the 27th of December. And that means that we are to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. The third day is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. And how do we do that? That means to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. The fourth day is Ujama, which is cooperative economics. And that is to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. The fifth day is Nia, which is purpose, and that's celebrated on the 30th of December. And that means to make our collective vocation the building and development and developing of our own community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. The sixth day is Kuumba, which means creativity, and that is to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beneficial and beautiful than we inherited it. The seventh day is Imani, that means faith. That's the last day on the 1st of January. To believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Yeah? So those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. We also have 7 symbols, which I'm going to go into in a moment. But what I thought I'd do, I'll just play this long tune for you, which I thought is fitting for the Kwanzaa season, that I can share with you now. Yeah.
Oh
Kwanzaa at the Classic. This is the premier London Kwanzaa event taking place over 2 days. December 27th, doors from 4 p.m. and 29th, doors from 3 p.m. At the Classic, Tooting-Bec, SW17 7PG. Bring your families and friends to join the growing community celebrating the annual observance of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. This African family event presents contributions on day 1 by Paul Abina, architect of the lineage timeline, and day 2 by Robin Walker, the Black History Man. Hosted by Amenwa and Uri, Chakra and Nahanda. Performances by Africa Bantu Saturday School, Baby Soul, Poetic Lara, Poetica and more. Food, music stalls and special guests. If you have not been to a Kwanzaa celebration before, this is the one for you. A seasonal community event for you and yours. General admission £3. Children under 12 go free. More on the door. Get your tickets now for one or both days. Online at shoobs.com. Search Kwanzaa at the Classic.
The Pan-African Congress Movement National Kwanzaa celebration will be taking place on the 26th of December to the 1st of January 2020. There will be a combination of African markets, food and refreshments, edutainment, community presentations, cultural performances, plus much more. A London event taking place on Thursday the 26th of December 4 till 10 at the African Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road, Hornsey, London, and 80DJ. For information and stores, call 07 415 482 167 or 07 956 052 821. Principal for today, Umoja Unity. PACM Community Kwanzaa Celebration 2019.
This is our legacy, a part of our history. Be proud of who you are, for you're a shining star for the world. The whole wide world to see, to see.
Yes. That was a couple of the ads that is coming up for next week, and I will go over them again and give you some more information. We've got quite a lot of Kwanzaa celebrations going on, but first I just want to ensure that you fully understand what Kwanzaa is, so that when you go to celebrate you know roughly what to expect and have a wonderful time. Okay, I just spoke to you about the 7 principles, the 7 days of Kwanzaa, and now I'm going to go into the 7 symbols of Kwanzaa. So each symbol represents values and concepts reflective of African culture and contributes to community building and reinforcement. The first is Mkeke. Now remember, these words that I'm using, they're all the Swahili, and then I'll give you the English of what it is so you can understand and visualize what I'm talking about. So one of the first symbols is Mkeke. That's the mat. This is symbolic of the tradition and history, and therefore the foundation on which we build. Okay, so you'll put the mat down first. This is if you're doing a shrine. You'll put the mat down first, yeah, and then you've got the mazao, yeah, that's the crop. These are symbolic of the African harvest celebrations and of the rewards of productive and collective labor. So that means that everybody who's coming to the celebration, they'll bring something. Some of you might have been growing carrots all year, so you'll bring that. Some of you might have been growing tomatoes. Some of you might have grown pumpkins. Some of you might have grown tomatoes. You know, apples and whatever. That's what you bring, yeah. And you'll place them on the table. There's also the Mahindi. Okay, Muhindi, that is the corn. Now this is symbolic of the children. So if you're doing a family Kwanzaa in your home, what you'll do, you'll get corn on the cob. You get corn for each child in your family, yeah. So if you've got 2 children, you'll put 2 down. If you've got 8 children, you put 8 pieces of corn down, yeah. That is a symbolic, like I said, and this is symbolic of the children and our future, which they embody. So even if you're expecting, you'll still put that down, or if you hope to be expecting, they say you can put one down there. Then you've got the Mishuma Saba. That's the 7 candles. You've got 3 red, which represent the ancient and beautiful struggle for good. You've got 1 black, which is for our people. And you've got 3 green, which is for hope, promise and future. You then have the, and I hope I've pronounced this correctly, Kikombe Cha Ujoma. Yeah, that's the unity cup. This is symbolic of our foundational principle and practice of unity, which makes all else possible. It reinforces our commitment to each other. You also have the Kinara. That's the candle holder. This is symbolic of our roots, our parents, people, and our continental Africans. You also have Zawadi. Yeah, that's the gifts, the handmade gifts and things like that. These are symbolic of the labor and love of parents and commitments made and kept by the children. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the lighting of the candle ceremony. Yeah, that in itself is a ceremony on its own. Yeah. So the lighting of the Mishuma Saba ceremony, you'll have your Kinara. Normally it's made from, well, it should be made from wood, which represents a solid foundation and represents the parents and ancestors. Then, as I said before, you've got your Mishuma Saba. That's the 3 red candles, 1 black and 3 green. That represents the child. So the parent or the elder lights and gives it to the child to place in the Kinara. The child is letting their light shine. So just to go over little things, Kwanzaa is not a black Christmas. Neither is it just a holiday. And neither is it a time to eat, drink, merry, fight and, carry on like that. That's not what we do at Kwanzaa. At most Kwanzaas, I should say at most of the Kwanzaas that you go to, you may not even find an ounce of alcohol. Some you may, but majority of the time we don't have alcohol and things like that at Kwanzaa celebrations. Well, the ones that I've gone to, I've never seen alcohol there. So we've got Kwanzaa is a statement about a people. It represents history and family. Yeah, that's what Kwanzaa is about. History and family. It is a lifestyle. It is about supporting each other, the longevity and stability of our people, and it's for African people pulling together to build their nation. Other things to remember, that on the last day of Kwanzaa, which is normally the first, you can have it throughout as well, but the last day of Kwanzaa, the first, we have a big feast which we call the Karamu. Yeah. So, in saying that, what can we relate Kwanzaa to? You might be wondering, what can we relate it to? And when I was asked that question about what I could relate Kwanzaa to, I thought if you look closely at the Ngusa Saba, that's the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, they are exactly the same principles that the Honourable Marcus Messiah Garvey taught us. So even though Dr. Malana Krenga put this together in 1966, it still follows on from what Marcus Garvey, who died in 1940, was saying. Okay? Garvey's principles laid down the blueprint for effective nation building. You can also relate it to the same principles that are taught in faith groups such as in the Bible, in the Quran and in the Torah. It is my view that all these religious books teach the same essence of nation building. So we've also got Kwanzaa in the UK, because remember I said that Kwanzaa started in 1966 in America with Dr. Malana Krenga. But here in England, for those of us who are more concerned with what's going on in England rather than what's going on abroad all the time, The earliest celebrations of Kwanzaa that we can recall was in 1972, organised by the African Caribbean Self-Help Organisation in Handsworth, Birmingham. Yeah. The African Caribbean Self-Help Organisation was one of the founder organisations of the Pan-African Congress Committee in 1974. The Pan-African Congress Committee changed their name to the Pan-African Congress Movement in 1977. So it's the same organisation. You might be thinking that I got it wrong. No, that's sometimes organisations do change their name. Remember, people and organisations are forever evolving. Since then, there are, when I wrote this together in 2016, there was 16 different organisations that regularly celebrate Kwanzaa in England. But now there are much, much more, and we need to draw those statistics for you. In March 2014, 12 organisations across England came together to organise the Kwanzaa Network UK. And the aim of Kwanzaa Network UK is to unify, structure and promote Kwanzaa in the community. That is because when we first got together, we were talking about some of the Kwanzaas we've been to. We've gone to celebrate Kwanzaa. We've gone to community events that call themselves a Kwanzaa celebration. They don't talk about the 7 principles. They don't have the kinara. They don't have the symbols for the Kwanzaa. Now, those, if you're thinking of putting on a Kwanzaa, or if you've already planned one, do ensure that you have the right equipment for the Kwanzaa. There's a organisation called the Kwanzaa Shop. Give them a call. Go on Google them. Give them a call. Yeah, ask if they've got any of the things that you need, or what is it that you need in order to be celebrating Kwanzaa. Because what we don't want, and that's one of the reasons why Kwanzaa Network UK was set up, what we don't want is people dishonouring Kwanzaa by putting on something that isn't Kwanzaa and calling it Kwanzaa. It is so important that that does not happen. Otherwise it just becomes a joke business, isn't it? So there was a joint 50th Kwanzaa celebration on the 26th of December 2016. Kwanzaa Network UK is still going. I think what we decided to do was every 5 years they're going to have a major celebration. So we've had one 3 years ago, and we've got 2 more years, and we're going to be celebrating 55 years of Kwanzaa. Yeah. So at the moment, you've got individual organisations up and down England putting on Kwanzaa. And like I said, there's more, because I'm going to read out some. We've got Cardiff added to the list now. There's some in Cardiff. There's 2 in Birmingham this year. So I'll give you those shortly. So just to go over, what is Kwanzaa? It's a celebration that honours African heritage, which started in 1966, and in England the earliest celebration was 1972. The Nguzo Saba, spelled Nguzo, Nguzo Saba, that's the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And the 7 principles are Umoja, Kuchikukulia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. And those are, that's the Kwanzaa in brief. Yeah, it might have been long to you, but that's a summarized version of what Kwanzaa is. Those things that I've mentioned, the symbols, the principles, you must talk about them in Kwanzaa celebrations in order to let new people who don't know about Kwanzaa get an understanding of what it is they're supposed to be celebrating. Now, Kwanzaa isn't just about a celebration that's 7 days. Kwanzaa is actually a way of life. Those 7 principles that I mentioned, that should be carrying you throughout the year. And what you're supposed to do is, at the end of the year, you're supposed to be able to say how you used or how you demonstrated those 7 principles throughout the year. Now that means you have to be conscious of what you're doing most of the time to be living that way of life. And like I said, going through doing Kwanzaa or living your life guided by the principles of Kwanzaa does not contradict your faith or your religion, whether it be Christianity, Judaism, or what's the other one? You know, because everything comes out of one. Okay, that's where it's all come from. They're all the same. I'm trying to. I think I read out 3, but I can't remember. I can't remember the 3. That's where you get the short-term memory loss. You know. I said the Torah, and I said the Bible, and I can't remember what the other one was that I mentioned. But let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. But anyway, like I said, it's all yes. Here it is. I said the Quran. That's it. The Bible, the Torah, and the Quran. Yeah. So if you're living a life of under the principles of Kwanzaa, it will only enhance what you're doing with your faith, with your religion. It wouldn't contradict it. You won't have to say it's one or the other. They're both the same. All right. So Kwanzaa, as I said to you before, it's not a religious event. It's a cultural event, and you know your culture comes first before any religion. Number 1, you're African. Number 2, today you can be of an Islamic faith. Tomorrow you can be Christian. The next day you could be Judaism. You know, those are all interchangeable. Those don't stay fast. Yeah, and you can see that because you know you must know many people throughout your walks of life that was once Christian and now they're Muslim. Was once Muslim, now they're was once, you know, that can change. But as you're an African person, that never changes. And there is a video that was coming around on WhatsApp. It's meant to be Kwanzaa for children, but I watched it a couple of times and I had to really pull it apart to ensure that it is saying the right thing. And it was a video called What is Kwanzaa? It's only 3 minutes long, and I think in the 20 seconds of the video, one of the boys say to the other boy, is it an African event? And he says, no, it's not, it's from America. But like I said to you at the beginning, the principles of Kwanzaa have their roots in Africa. You know, Dr. Malana Karenga, from the research that I have done, went to studied the African culture in order to put Kwanzaa together anyway. So to say no, it's got nothing to do with Africa, that is misleading, and that one that's for children, it's only 3 minutes long, that bit is incorrect. And maybe we need to, somebody was saying to me yesterday, maybe we need to look at who's putting out what in relation to Kwanzaa, because we can't have misguided information about our culture going out. And we need to be looking at things like that. So maybe I might just find out who made that video and write to them and just ask them to just tweak it or update it, because it's not very good when you're putting out wrong information. So if you have seen that video, if you do come across it where he says that it doesn't have anything to do with Africa, that information is actually incorrect. All right. Apart from that, there's quite a few other ones that you can look at for children. There's one called Kevin's Kwanzaa, which is 4 minutes and 14 seconds long. That is a very good one that you could play for children. You've also got Together for Kwanzaa, which is 9 minutes and 48 seconds long. And you've also got 7 Candles for Kwanzaa. That's 9 minutes and 1 second long. So you can play any of those for yourself and your children in order to get a visual idea of what Kwanzaa is about. There's other videos such as The Proud Family. That's a little bit longer. I think that's about 40 minutes. And then you've also got The Black Candle, which is about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So all those are very good DVDs or videos that you can watch. They're all on the internet, so you can look at those and get a further understanding of what Kwanzaa is about, and help you with how you can celebrate it in the community or how you can celebrate it in your home. All right. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over to some of the Kwanzaa events. We've got quite a few Kwanzaa events coming up this week. One starting tomorrow. We've had quite a few. I want to big up the Westside Leaders Academy and all the organisers of the one last week. That was Wakwanza. Welcome to Wakwanza. That was an event that happened last week, Saturday, the 14th of December. And I also want to big up the Al Kabelan Al Kabelan Academy of Excellence with their pre-Kwanzaa children's party. So those are two events that that went off last week and were very good. This one tomorrow, I know you've heard of Return of the Griot. They're going to be celebrating Kwanzaa. It says African storytelling and sorry about this, just hold on a little bit longer. Yes, that was fine, so I had to, yeah. So it's got African storytelling and spoken word showcase. It's got a Kwanzaa special. There's featuring storytellers like Griot Chinyeri. The main story is, I think it's Shiny. Supported acts is Princess Zaya, Lyrical Healer, Ishinga, Beloved, Anna Ans Watson, and African drummers, I think it's Isembele. Yeah, that's tomorrow. It's going to be hosted by Lady Essie, and this takes place at the Tottenham Community Sports Centre, 703, that's 703 High Road, Tottenham, London, N17 8AD, from 8 o'clock to 11 p.m. The entry for this is £5. It's a family friendly event, and they'll also be talking about the Ngusa Saba as well. There's stalls down there, food and drinks available, free parking, and if you want more information, you can go on Eventbrite. The rebirth of the griot, the African origins of performance. Yep. So that's tomorrow. That's taking place tomorrow. We've also got Luton Black Men Community Group. They're going to be showing the Black Candle. Remember, I just talked about that film. They're going to be showing the Black Candle and Film Market. That's on Sunday, the 22nd of December, from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Luton Irish Forum, 102 Hitchin Road, Luton, LU 20ES. That's a pre-Kwanzaa Ujamaa Cooperative Economics Market stalls for the whole African heritage family. Adults and children under 18 are free. Tickets, if you go to www.lutonkwanzaa@eventbrite.co.uk, it's £5 at the door. Like I said, they're going to be showing the film The Black Candle, so that's something you might want to go and do. In terms of more Kwanzaa events, we've got, for those of you that's listening to me and you're in the Leicester area, Leicester Kwanzaa Group, supported by Kwanzaa Network UK and Leicester Black History Consortium. They've got Kwanzaa is an African family, heritage family and community cultural celebration from December the 26th to the 1st of January, which is correct. Their event's going to be on Friday the 27th of December, which is next week Friday, from 5:30 to 10 o'clock at the African Caribbean Centre. It says free tickets. Contact 07827 317 952. That's 07827 317 952. All right, so that's the Leicester Kwanzaa Group. All right, supported by Kwanzaa Network UK and also the Leicester Black History Consortium. Right, so that's Leicester. We're going to go over to Cardiff. Yes, for those of you in Cardiff, hi, how you doing? You got the is it what? Bootown, Buteton, Bootown, I think, Community Centre. They invite you to celebrate the second day of Kwanzaa, which is Kujukukulia, which is self-determination. They're going to have presentations, African marketplace, African food, music, and this is from 3 p.m. to late at the Bootown Community Centre, Loudoun, spelled Loudoun Square, Cardiff, CF10 5UZ. Their telephone number is 029 2048 7658. That's 0292 048 7658. Then we've got Kwanzaa at the Classique Planning Group. They celebrate London's premier Kwanzaa 2019. They've got 2 days. So the first day is the 27th of December, which is next week Friday. Kujukukulia, which is self-determination. The venue for this is the Classique, 28 Upper Tooting Road, Tooting, London, SW 17 7PG. The time for this is 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The doors will open at 4. So if you want more information, and telephone number is 0800 368 8824. That's 0800 368 8824. For more information and tickets for this event, it says you need to go on shubs.com. That's shubs, SHOOBS, shubs.com. It says children under 12s are free. OAPs £2, standard tickets £3, booking fee more at the door. The guest speakers on the 27th, the main presenters is Paul Abina. Yes, Paul, qualified teacher and author of The Lineage Timeline, and Twilight Bay, crime and violence intervention specialist. Okay, that's their day 1. I'm going to come to their day 2 in day order. On the 28th, we have Sisters Empowerment Circle, keeping the family together, the value of family. And this is going to be taking place on Saturday the 28th of December. I'm looking for the time. From 2 to 5 p.m. at Malika House, 81 George Street, Lozells, Birmingham, B19 1NS. They're also going to have a workshop called Dynamic Values Workshop. Why are values important in life? What are your family values? Discover your family values at the Sister Empowerment Circle. £7 for tickets in advance, £10 at the door. Concessions £3. Under 18s are free. And you can book your tickets for this event. This is a Sister Empowerment Circle. www.justtickets.com. Yeah, justtickets.com, and just is JUS. Yeah, because if you say JUST, you get a different organization. It's an Asian organization, so you need to go on justjus-tickets.com. Now remember, I was talking to you about the Classique has 2 events. Their second one, their day 2, is on the 29th of December, under the day of Ujama Cooperative Economics. The venue is the same, the Classique, 28 Upper Tooting Road, Tooting, London, SW17 7PG, and this one is from 4 to 9 p.m. For more information, you can for tickets and that, you can go onto shubs.com, And the speakers down there is Robin Walker, the historian, Mark and Shemaine Simpson talking about financial freedom or financial independence, and Abdul Hakim Mohammed, who is the European Minister for the Nation of Islam. Okay. For those of you who were looking forward to the event in Leighton on the 29th of December, that one is cancelled. Now we're going to go over to the PACM, that's a Pan-African Congress movement. Remember, they were one of the first to celebrate Kwanzaa in England in the 1970s. In terms of a recorded date, they have quite a few. Thursday the 26th of December from 7 to 10 p.m. at the African Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road, Hornsey, London, N8 0DJ. Then they've got another one in, I'm trying to find, this is not in date order, that's the 26th, which is Thursday. 27th we've got Wolverhampton, which is Kujikukulia, Self-Determination Day. Sorry. And this one is going to be 5 to 10 p.m. at the African Caribbean Centre, Maidstone Road, Leicester. You know what, I've gone... No, sorry, I was talking to Wolverhampton when I... Sorry about that, they've got 227th. Wolverhampton, sorry, from 7 p.m. till late. Doors open at 6:30 at the Heritage Centre, Clifford Street, Wolverhampton, WV60AA. It's got free entry contributions are welcome. And then they've got another one on the 27th of December, which is from 5 to 10:30 at the African Caribbean Centre, Maidstone Road, Leicester, LE20AU. And then they've got the 1st of January. Sorry, the days are a bit mixed up, but because of how they've done their leaflet. But they've got Wednesday, the 1st of January, which is 5 to 10 p.m. at the West Indian Centre, Carmore Road, Longsight, Manchester, M13 0FB. They've got the 30th of December in memory of Tenny Lewis. That is in Nottingham, Monday the 30th of December, 6 till late. Hyson Green Youth Club, Terrace Street, Nottingham, NG7 6ER. Bristol, they've got one in Bristol on the 28th at the John Lynch African Education Programme and Malcolm X Centre. This is from 2 to 10 p.m. The address is 141 City Road, St Paul's, Bristol, BS2. Then they've also got one on the 29th of December, which is from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Legacy Centre of Excellence, 144 Potters Lane, Aston, Birmingham, B6 4UA. I was just trying to find a generic phone number, but they don't seem to have a generic one, the Pan-African Congress unit. But the Pan-African Congress movement, PACM. I'm sure if you Google them, you can find more information about what they're doing and all their Kwanzaa celebrations for 2019. Sorry, 2019. So those are some of the events that's going on for Kwanzaa. One I must read out for Monday. It's not a Kwanzaa celebration, but I will read it out because it's for the African Caribbean elders, which we're looking at ACE. You have to be 60 plus. Okay, so all you young elders, you're still elders. Monday the 23rd of December 2019, the Gowan Centre, Keston Road, Tottenham, N17 6PW. The time for this is 2 to 8 p.m. Meals will be served at 3 p.m. because it's a dinner launch. Yes, a dinner launch. It's £5 per meal, traditional Caribbean buffet including sorrel and fruitcake. Tickets you can call 07399 241 783. Alright, so that is all the Kwanzaa celebrations that I have information on, and I hope you'll be able to go down to at least one of them and take in some of the festive season. Yeah, taking some of the festivities around Kwanzaa. I hope you'll also learn as well some more of what's going on in relation to Kwanzaa this year. For those of you who it's new for, I'm glad. I hope you'll be glad when you do go down to some of the events and enjoy that as well. Yeah. So that is Kwanzaa. Like I said before, it's not a Black Christmas. It's not a it's about us coming together and celebrating ourselves, our heritage, our culture. And once again, it does have its roots in Africa. And I hope you all enjoy yourself and have fun. At most of the Kwanzaa celebrations that you go to, and most of the cultural celebrations you go to in general, they do have cultural stalls. So please ensure that you take enough money to patronize the stall holders. I know quite a lot of us have card readers now, so it makes things a little bit easier for you. But there may be other stalls who don't have card readers for whatever reason, and they might have something, so do walk with some change in your pocket. Also, where you attend an event and they say it's free, don't go there thinking that everything is free. There may be other bits that you might need to pay for, such as to get in might be free, but the food might not be free. Yeah, so it's no point you coming there with your long belly thinking you're going to get a big plate of food and you're going to talk about it's free. No, things don't work like that. Yeah, things don't work like that. Most of the events that are put on, these cultural events, they are self-funded. They don't have government funding to do them. So they've raised and they're budgeting for how they can. Yeah, and so it'll be wise of you who are going to free events to walk with money in your pocket. So when there's donations, or if there's a donation, or even if there isn't a donation, you can say, can I donate something? You know, don't just walk with your too long hand all the time. Think about giving. It's a community thing. You know, it's like a trade-off. You let me in for free and give me food, I'll give you something there and then, not in 10 months time. Do you understand? It's about how we're going to grow and work and grow together as a nation. If you always have nation building at the back of your mind, you get there. You'll remember all these things. You remember not to walk there with your too long hand and don't want to help. Or that's another thing you can do. If you don't want to, if you haven't got no money and you really want to go, see how you can help to clear up as part of the, you know, helping, volunteering. You know, don't have people saying, oh, we've got to come out the building, you're standing up there chatting, chairs need to be put away, floor needs to be swept, and you're just there, come on, help. It's all part of nation building. It's all part of the family circle. What can you do for somebody? These are the things at the back of your mind that you should have in the back of your mind as when you're going to cultural events. What can you do? What are you bringing? Remember what I asked at the beginning of the show when I was talking about asset and liability? What asset are you bringing? What, you know, what are you contributing to? A lot of people just have the mentality, I've got to see what I can get. What am I going to get out of this? Why am I doing this? What am I going to get? How am I going to benefit? Yes, we shouldn't be doing things with the notion of just you know, at the detriment of ourselves. But yes, we should also be looking at what can we help? How can we help to enhance this? A lot of us go to an event and we're ready to criticize and whatever. But what can you do to make it better? One of the main things, this is a hint, everybody. One of the main things you can do to make it better is to turn up on time. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of us might say, and I've done it myself, there's certain organisations that when they have a function, if it says it starts at 6 o'clock, I get there for 7 and I know it's just starting. They're in the community now, functioning. There are groups like that. But look at it this way. Those same groups that start late, look what happens. All the speakers don't get a chance to speak. Like if they're given 20 minutes, it's cut down to maybe 5 or 6. So what they've planned and researched and want to share with the people, it's all gone up in the air. They have to make sure they can just focus on their salient points. Yeah, number one. The second thing is, you're always rushed to get out of the building, because most of these buildings are not for free. There's a time scale. If you go over your time scale with some of them, you lose your deposit, or they lose their deposit. Yeah, so that's why one of the reasons why they're rushing you out the building. However, and another thing that's sad is that it is awful that if they did start on time, the people who they've invited to speak would only be speaking to an audience of maybe 5 or 6 people, and that ain't good for them. They feel as though they've wasted their time. So those are the reasons why we have to turn up early and start on time for places. Another thing that I would like to say is to some of you people who are putting on events. I've gone to a number of events where you've got stall holders, and the stall holder might take half an hour to 40 minutes to set up. Your event starts at 5 o'clock, but you've only booked the hall for 4:30, 4:45. Yes, I'm quiet. And then some of you have the cheek to be so when I say some of the you people promoters have the cheek to be putting it as if it's the venue owner's fault as to why it started late, when you know it's yours. You know, you've got to give yourself time for setting up. You've got to give your stall holders time to set up. Because if you don't, if you've only got a 20-minute break in between and it's running late, the stall holders only have 20 minutes of selling time, and that's not right. Especially when they've paid 40, 50, 60 pound to set up a stall. It is not right. And as we go into 2020, we know better. So we have to do better. Yeah? We cannot keep working to a ghetto standard all the time. Sometimes it's called for, sometimes it's beyond our control, but a lot of other times it is we had the power to do something about it. Yet we choose not to. Because as long as I'm okay as a promoter, I've got all my stall holders, they're paying, they're helping with the hall money and the venue money, that's fine by me. No, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So these are some of the things that we want to see for 2020. We want to ensure that at the end of 2020 we have a lovely, lovely year when we're looking back on it, because we can learn from all the flaws from 2018 and 2019. We have to be seen as a community that know what we're doing and know how to get there. Yeah, we have to be seen like people could take us seriously. We can't continue to be seen as joke business. And as I come to the close of this week, I've got one more show for 2019, which is next week, if all, life's spare and everything. I'll be here. I've decided already on the title of next week's show. It's still under the family. It's still, going to be talking around the family and things like that for December. But I've decided to call it No Agenda, No Behaviour. That means anything can go. If you want to phone up and say anything, whatever, if something's pressing on your mind, you can share it with us. If you think the Community Information Show needs to be tweaked another way, yes, you can do that too. You can share that with us. No agenda. I'll have nothing to talk about next week, and I'll just come in and we just go as the vibes or the spirit leads us. Yeah. So I'm not going to plan anything. It's going to be no agenda, no behaviour. Yeah. With that said, I'm going to find a nice tune to sign off with. I hope you've found something useful today, whether it be talking about politics, how we're going to change our view around politics, whether it's going to be how we're going to how we're going to move forward. These are some of the things that we need to be thinking about in terms of where we're going, how we're going to get there, what is the vehicle that we're going to use, the mechanisms to get there. I just thought I'll share that with you all. And remember to look out for one another. We are family. I'm going to sign out with this one, Sylvia Teller. She's talking about her brothers and sisters. Okay. And where we need to be going as a people. What structures do we think we need to put in place for 2020 and beyond? What planning do we have to do for our elders? What planning do we have to do for our nursery children, our children in primary school, our children in secondary school, our children in university? What planning do we have to do for ourselves? What planning do we have to do for those with disabilities, for those with mental health, for those incarcerated? What planning, full stop? When it comes to nation building, there's so many different strands to nation building. So what are you contributing towards the building of your nation? What are you planning towards the building of your family? How are you managing your finances? What are you doing about your finances? All these things need to be taken into place. We cannot keep going through the road of I don't care or I'll do it tomorrow. Who do we expect? You know what? I've changed my sign that tune. Who do we expect to represent us? Who do we expect to stand up for us? These are some of the things that I'd like us to all think about seriously for 2020 and beyond. I've changed the sign that tune because as I was talking, something came to mind. I want to go off sharing this with you in relation to this song that I would like to play, and I hope it does play. I've played it so many times before. I've been playing this for nearly 15-20 years, this tune, and it's always pertinent when I play it. It's always relative. It's such a relative tune. It's by a singer who's passed on, a Kaiso singer who's passed on now, and his name's Black Starling, and the tune is called Who Will. Who are we expecting to be there for us? Who are we expecting to be our voice? Who are we expecting to stand up, jump up, go here, go there, collect for us, other than ourselves? And if you listen to the words of this song, just listen to the words of it, and I will sign out with this one, and I'll be with you next week, Friday, 27th, the last show, I believe, for the year, for the Community Information Show. Yeah? Stay blessed.
people don't care about unity.
I don't know that already.
They just keep living day for day. But with all the abuse and all the things that they are accused, I still love them. I have no problem. For if I don't love them, then who will? If I don't care them, then who will? You think some man from Ireland who fight in the English go stop saying about the own thing to fix up my business? You say my people lazy and how they have no skill. But if I don't love them, then who will? Up the fight.
I don't know that already.
You say about myself, it's time to start looking.
I don't know that already.
Black people will never see the light. That is one thing I cannot do. For my love for them is true. They are my people. That is no trouble. So if I don't love them, then who will? If I don't care them, then who will? You think some man from Scotland who fight in the English go stop saying about the own thing to fix up my business? You say my people lazy and how they have no skill. But if I don't love them,